Good evening. I am your brother known to you as Jesus, the Christ Demonstrator. Should you wish it, we shall review a lesson in what appears to be long ago. Now, there is still much confusion in what you know as to who and what God is. There are those who still worship me rather than the God essence in me, of course, and in themselves. Now it is still such puzzlement, and this will demonstrate to you the thinking of your fellow mankind. But if such a deity, God, is so powerful, omnipresent, omnipotent, why would that be limited in any form? That is, your kind worships that image, me, far above any other. Would you say that the same worship and respect will be due and given to the blade of grass or the tree or anything of creation? Now once again, God is endless, unlimited. Now, if I may take you with me, we shall reconstruct this scenario, as they say, feeding the multitudes with loaves of bread. That is, if you wish to go. Now you see before you that is you are in me, and you see hundreds of hungry life streams. I, that is you, have acknowledged there is a need, do we not? That there are people in need of nourishment. I did the same as my brother did. Quite simply, this is the way it is done. And I will break it down for you, and soon you will be doing this without thinking as well. In assessing the needs at this moment, which is nourishment, hunger. Knowing what we know, we are in the state of peacefulness. I ask if you would do the same, please. And you may feel your own physical bodies now relax. I ask, do not engage your analytical mind, as this is what masters do, being in more than one place at a time. In this case, since there is no time, it would appear to your mechanism that you are going back. In actuality, it is happening now. We, that is you and I, assess there is a need. Do we agree? And of course, do we wish to assist and help out? Meaning that the demonstration we are about to use is actually meant to show the live streams that they can do this for themselves. Hence, I believe the saying, a fisher of men, and quite another one, show one how to fish for themselves, therefore eliminating the need of one to feed. That is from you to the other live stream. Our intent is to show them that if they acquiesce themselves, they too can bring forth what they need. Of course, we see that there are various levels of light. Now, I ask that you switch over, that is, do not see the live streams in a form, but rather, if you would please, attempt to view the situation as pure light essence. Love in various stages, various degrees, if you would try this. That means for you to ignore the limited form you see of each individual live stream, garments, and so forth. Could you attempt this, please? Now, since we are in your device, it is true that we do see color, shapes, But our minds are not set aside, and we have switched over to the God essence of ourself, that is the love that we feel intensifying. I repeat, that means that our minds are now set aside, and we have switched over to the God essence of ourselves, that is the love that we feel intensifying. I ask if you would notice this in yourselves, and the state of awareness we are in, that is our well-being, our feeling of love, now rises to quite a high pitch. Would you say this is happening for you? And we shall now continue our journey upward. In actuality, this happens quite instantly, but it is my wish to take you through this step by step. Would you be accepting this? And now you feel, that is us, state of warmth and love. We are conscious of this, are we not? And now we view the forms from our state of love, in our state of love. And I ask if you too now recognize that what you see before you, in whatever form it is, that to you it is love. I ask if you would note this in yourselves. Now in this state, we, that is you and I, are aware that everything is love, do we not? Seeing that is, we no longer acknowledge that there are separate forms. We sense, and that is what I mean when I say see, the feeling of love, the air, that sea, that sand, the thoughts of live streams, and our own, do we not? Now we will raise our level of love, that is, we shall intensify our feeling. Now we are at such a state that our light, love, can be visible, seen by other live streams, that is, those who are in front of us. You will note that their faces are somewhat startled as they begin to see us, me, glowing. Now in this state, we issue the command. We have assessed a need. We have determined, and this is where your device, your mechanism is extremely handy. We will have decided what form of love is needed. In this particular case, in a twinkling of an eye, we, you and I, have determined that bread will serve the need of the hour, do we not? Now we issue the command. In the name of God I am that I am, I bring forth a love of bread, in particular this type of bread, for we have seen what we wish, we desire in our mind's eye. And at that point, we commanded the electrons to take the form. You see before you a single loaf of bread, and now I ask if you will use your outside vision while still in your state. You see the amazement on everyone's face, and also we know the concern that there shall not be quite enough. Do you sense? We now issue the command. Well, and this is from me to you. If we have brought forth one loaf, how difficult can it be to bring forth several hundred thousands? Now this takes place very, very quickly. One loaf of bread feeds all that is, it never ever ends. In the name of God I am, we hold with the image of this particular item until all are satisfied. Would you note this for themselves and for yourselves? I ask you simply witness the action, and when we return to your bodies, I will explain this in much more detail. You see, the people scrambling, for they perceive there is only one, and those who get there first, of course, in their greed, will be the first ones satisfied. You will witness, we, you and I, hold our state of peace, do we not? While all who come are filled and their hunger is satisfied, is it not? And now we will speed up the action, and you see that everyone has eaten well, I might add, and everyone is satisfied. We do note that this love form has benefited all in some way. We see that there is an intensification of light in some, not many, but in some. And we also see the utter amazement on all faces, do we not? And now, will you return with me to your current time, as you term it? Now we shall go over exactly what happened here, and it is more comfortable to you as we all can see this. God, electrons are unlimited, is unlimited. This was quite difficult to explain then, and indeed, I say to you, my brothers and sisters, it will be quite difficult for you to explain as well, even with your technology. The question is posed again. Why would that which is all-powerful and unlimited limit itself into any one form? If one truly utilizes God, then it is in every form. It is every form. Now I ask you to be patient with your first demonstration. Remember, you are live streams who have achieved mastery without consciousness. And so I ask you not to compare yourself with any of us. Term miracle workers. We did not come in without a memory. You did. Again, I underline that statement. We did not come in without full memory. It is much easier for one to perform what is called miracles when one has full consciousness and cognizance of what it is and what all is. For you, it appears, at least at the moment, that you had to learn this, and indeed you did extremely well, which is why I'm here now. The densities and indeed the complexities of the human mind, that is much more accentuated at this time. Master of light essence here, in your current year, your time is a bit more challenging as you must acquit yourself. And this is getting easier, I see. Would you agree? However, you must content with the stuff that flies back and forth. Now I am master of light essence. You are master of light essence. In your state of oneness, your state of love is your first step. I see in some of you it is becoming more natural, would you say? And in others you are beginning to approach an area which you have never been. Well done, all of you. In your state of love and peacefulness, the essence known to all as God aligns itself with you, meaning that you are more fully aware of it. It is limitless, formless energy in various degrees. You are correct. There are forms which it has been commanded to take, and depending on the vibration, you can choose what you need. Shortly, you will be able to generate what you need out of what appears to be air. Now, if I may briefly explain what that exactly is. There is no such thing as bringing something out of the air, out of anything. The air you breathe, my brothers and sisters, is God in action also. Quite a different form, though it may be, but nevertheless is still God, love, in a form available for your use. Now let us look at the different forms of God for a moment. Everything you see about you is God, is it not? Would you say the table, and I believe this was demonstrated to you recently, is certainly alive, though vibrating at a different rate? For distinction, we shall say a lower rate of vibration. Nevertheless, it is God I am, would you say? And now let us go on to a 3, which is quite easy for all to say it is alive because of the different changes in the atmosphere. It is visible movement to you. That is easier. Your seasons in this part of the world would dictate it so. And you see this wonderful loving object grow and expand and go into what is called a dormancy. So you see change, do you not? That is quite easy to say that it is alive, and indeed it does vibrate at a higher rate. Still to you, it is God I am, love in action, is it not? Now let us take an animal of your choice. For this example, we should say a dog. What you call that form, or a horse as you call it, and you could say that that form is alive, is it not? Indeed, quite simply, many of those forms, animals, as you say, do have quite a consciousness, do they not? So, would you say they are slightly more evolved than the 3? Indeed, it would appear many of these forms of life have a will of their own, as I have witnessed myself. And let us go to another form, that is your device. Human, as they are called. Quite dandy and handy apparatus, complex and to some extremely complicated, capable of moving and doing quite many tasks and objects and even thinking. Now let us look at this form without the essence of love in it, that is, life streams such as us. And it simply is a vehicle, is it not? Different function though it may be. Now let us look at other forms. The galaxy, as you see, here surrounding this planet is composed of different gases to support the particular life forms here, is it not? And when you reach further out in what is termed space, the oxygen that is God in that form is quite limited, indeed non-existent. Now there are choices when you wish to form. You simply look around you, and I would suggest this for you, and shortly you will not need this lesson because you will be as skilled as I to look around and see what form. That is love at a high rate of vibration is available to you. On your state of love, let us do that, please. We see that 3, it is God I am at a low rate. We wish to form something, do we not? And in your case, this is your first attempt. It would be quite easy, and now you see that there are other forms, live streams, as we have just gone over, but the cue to you, if I may use a current phrase of your time, is that the animals have somewhat of a will, do they not? And indeed, we both know that is you and I know that your apparatus hosts live streams, and we know that the apparatus is under the control and will of that live stream. Therefore, that energy would not be a good source if we are trying to form something, would it? Then, since we are just studying, I ask you, what could be a catapult for you to use in forming what you need, what you wish? Granted, if a live stream is of a high intensity, indeed, you can utilize that energy, meaning you in your state of love will attract the state of love in that live stream, and then will feel elated and euphoric. And as you have said, and we have heard this, it is a match. You are in your state of warmth and love. The live stream is in its state of warmth and love, and therefore there is what you would term happiness, is it not? Still, we wish to form something, and so we see that this particular live stream, we would not mind being in the presence of it, meaning we are using their energy, their love, as they are responding to us, me, you. However, one, and we shall go back to the multitudes, is quite insufficient when we view that there are more who are in the lower bodies than there are those who are elevated. So we wish to remove ourselves from the crowd, meaning that the proportion of lower bodies will make our job harder. Now, what is available to us? We see the largest single source of all there is in this case. Is it not the air you breathe? I ask you, is the air under the will of anyone? I ask you to look behind you and you see the sea. And that entire body surrounds this globe. I ask, is that form of God under any control that is a live stream? Therefore, these large moving objects, and they are indeed moving, are they not? Meaning to you, as you look at the sea, you see a force, a source of energy that is not under the control of any live stream. It is to you, God I am, in motion, and I ask you to look at this sea carefully. And do you not see the force, the energy as the waves hit the sand? Would you say that is a powerful source of energy for you? Is it not moving, my brothers and sisters? And it is not under the will of a live stream, therefore it can be used. Indeed, as you acknowledge that it is one single form of God I am, source, it willingly wishes to serve you, as you know speak its language, do you not? Therefore, for you, a source of energy willing to lend itself to what you wish to create. In your state of peacefulness and love, form what you need. In this case, I ask you to form the love of bread. In the name of God I am, that you are, that the moving body ocean is. Would you bring forth the love of bread? As you can see, the moving body, since it is all around you, lends its energy to you. That is, that you feel the sensation of love, do you not? Now, as you look around you, there is another large moving body of motion, of energy. And I ask if you can guess, answer miss, what that is. Of course, it is to you the air you are breathing, is it not? And there is indeed one more source available to you in this case. At this instance, it is the very sand you are standing in, is it not? I ask you if these three objects are under the control of any live stream. You, as a master of light essence, do you acknowledge that it is God? That even though the sea is more vibratory, that is its force is more powerful? Is it less than the air you breathe? Is it less than the sand you stand in? There are to you sources of energy. God, I am willing to serve you once you are in the same frequency code. Now, with all the love that these objects are around you, and you in your state of love, feeling, when you say that your very bodies are tingling. Now, I ask you to say in this state, God, I am that I am. I am Master of Light Essence. I form this. Now you feel the love of the moving ocean, of the air, and hold to your image and what you see. Indeed, my brothers and sisters, is not the love of bread out of air. Rather, it is the reformation of electrons which have been issued a command. And in the air, so it seems you are asking a portion of that to reform itself into this love of bread. Now you may touch it and feel it if you wish. Isn't it not real to you? Now, I ask, in such a state, would there be any doubt that all the live streams will be fed? Simply hold with your formation. That is what you have fashioned, what you have created out of the love that is here. Ask it to reform itself and hold until everyone is fed and satisfied. Quite simply, that is how it is done. Are there any questions? I know there are questions. If you wish, I go over this again. The air you breathe is in a form. It is for you the largest form of energy available to you at this time. You may wish to ask the ocean for its light, additional light, but you are not forming the bread out of water. I ask you, would that be feasible at this point in time? Since no one is in the sea, therefore you do not need the sea to reform itself. Certainly the sand is much denser, is it not? Therefore, as loving as it is, you can use its energy, but you may not wish to ask it to reform itself. The easier option is to ask the air, which is of a lighter density, to reform itself. Quite simply, that is exactly what I did. And quite simply, that exactly is what you will do now. Of course, there is a time factor for you. I ask you, my loved ones, be prepared for this. What you need is at your fingertips. This is how I did it. This is how my brothers did it. And this is how you will do it. Simple in its application, would you say? Simple in its understanding, would you say? That once you acknowledge that all is God, you become omnipotent. You become unlimited in what you can do. And they will term you a miracle worker. Indeed, it's quite simply not really a miracle. Rather, it is quite simply speaking the language of all that is. And when you get rid of separation, you will be able to do this too. And so will every other live stream. We give this knowledge, that is all of us who are here, to you now because you are ready. The final seeds of the separation of God are gone. I offer my congratulations, and indeed, the flower that you saw was a creation of your parents, and I am pleased to say to you, they did the same thing. Indeed, the essence of love, which you are, is the essence of love in the flower, in the tree, even in the cells of your physical host. There is no separation of anything, simply the command of an essence in its pure state, requesting love, electrons to take a form. You, and this is what it is meant by the statement, you are not your bodies. Why? Because you are essence, formless, shapeless, and yet you are intelligent, capable of understanding, and that is what it was meant when it said. When you broke away from all that is, all of us are each individual intelligences. Each of us have a different task, a different objective. We are beyond the numerical system of your current time, and if I may say, does it really matter how many there are? When you decided that you had something of importance to do, you took a form. Indeed, you breathed life. You created this form, pure intelligence, and indeed, the pattern suffices throughout, as your scientists are now discovering that every single cell has intelligence. Your creation. And when you were finished commanding the electrons to a particular form, whether it be a cell, and then asking those cells to hold together in a particular form, you were ready to inhabit. Quite simply, that is the way it was done. When you see separation, your trees from your buildings, from your animals, that is what is meant when it is said, you are fooled by your sight. Indeed, sight has taken command. In your language, I think I would be safe in saying it is number one, is it not? Thereby the statement seeing is believing. Now the reverse for you believing is seeing. For you will begin to not to rely on your sight more and more, as you trust in the love that is around you. And I underline to you, my brothers and sisters, as you trust in the love that is around you, that will not, cannot, shall not fail you. That is what is meant when they say the light of God never fails. That is true. However, the light of God has no will of its own except to serve the live stream. Therefore, when one waits upon God to do this or that, it is no wonder that they are quite disappointed. Would you say that they are electrons awaiting your command, and therefore, if what you wish has not come through, or you believe God has failed you, you simply have not told the electrons what to do? Love never fails. You failed to tell love what it is you want it to do. No action on your part. No action from the electrons. Quite simply, that is the way things work. You move, and there is that saying once again, and providence moves with you. Actually, providence does not move with you. Providence acts on your command. And this may be quite a revelation to some, but simply it is you command God. God does not command you, thereby eliminating the need of one's inaction, would you say? Thereby eliminating the statement, it was God's will. We here say, we think not. Rather, it is the control, the will of the live stream in all cases. And in some cases, it is the will of the animals as well. But they are discounted since their will is not quite as strong as the live stream entering this apparatus, which explain why some live streams would have been And we know you have heard this, a rock on another planet, and so forth and so on. Absolutely true. For that is what the essence, that pure intelligence wish to experience. And when they have experienced all the things that you have, then they may be granted re-embodying rights. Or they may be allowed to embody for the first time. You masters here have embodied for the last time. Your purpose is to demonstrate God in action as I did. Miracle workers, they will call you. Some may even call you God. But I know, and we here know, that you will allow no such thing. Are there any questions? And I shall explain it again if you wish. Is there an understanding amongst you? It simply is a matter of practice now. Practice and more practice. This may be the tedious part, but this is where the constancy and rhythm comes in it. You recall. Comes in if you recall. And we know you have trained in this, and we know you can hold. We have seen this, and that is why this part coming to you. To create anything still is through the same steps that the Elohim have given you. What happens? Every live stream has a will, would you say? And often many live streams have the perception. Is that not true? They indeed do have the love to create what they wish, and of course they have no malice of heart. They have purity of thought. And those things are all true. What happens to many is that they fail to constantly and rhythmically and in the state of peace hold their idea. The more in the state of love you are, that is, the higher the vibration, the less time, as you call it here, it will take for what you want to appear. Many an idea has been lost. Many a desire has been abandoned because the live stream's perception of time is off, shall I say. Commonly known as impatient, and that is set against some event they think will happen. Since you know now there is no such thing as time, it is quite easy for you. Now simply hold what it is your wish. Now hold it, my brothers and sisters. Command the electrons, and what you desire will be at your fingertips. Now I ask you not to compare where it is coming from. That is your mechanism thinking. Does it matter? I say to you when you are using all that is. Love comes to you, and when you think of something you wish, and you wish it in a state of love, and you acknowledge that the thing you desire is love, is God, I say, what would get in your way? Only you, your lack of constancy, lack of rhythm, and out of your state of peace and love. Difficult to do, would you say? And you here know that well. Quite a simple statement, and if it were that simple, dare I say, there would be more than 12 masters. But out of the 90 billion live streams, there are only 12. Would you say that what you have achieved is quite an accomplishment? Are there any questions that I may clarify? Do you wish me to go over an element or aspect again? If so, please state. I would be more than happy to answer your question. A question common, giving a command, what thought process is involved? Answer. It is not a thought process. If you are thinking, you have allowed your mechanism to take over. God essence does think, so to speak. It already knows. In your state of peacefulness and love and your acquiescence, it is a feeling a sensing and knowing that you are God. You are love essence, and every single thing around you is. Quite simply, it is not a case of commanding. That is from your point of knowledge, my brother. It is drawing or being in the state of love so that things come to you, rather than you are expending the energy to command it to do so. The command is not as intense a word as many would attach to it. It is simply a direction. Have I answered your question? Are there any other questions? Please, we are all here. I happen to be the first one to speak with you this evening. We are all here, and this is the most crucial and critical stage. It is imperative that all of you understand. Are there any questions?